I want to speak about something disturbing that initially, when I first seen it, because I seen it when it first happened, I called it, but it initially went over my head a little bit. Then when I seen the rest of the family rolling out videos on this particular topic, I started to know that what I'm seeing was actually what I was seeing, and it's really sickening and despicable, if you ask me. I want to speak about how they was trying to make our brother Mason Sherman Horn, who was a victim of that mass school shooting down there in Georgia. They was trying to put it out there in the eyes of the public, the media, that he was actually the culprit, which is damn insanity, if you ask me, because we find this more often than not, especially in our community, the black community. Whenever we the victims of something, they'll try to flip and spin the narrative in favor of making us look like the culprit. And this is damn insane, if you ask me. And the media outlets that put it out there like that, all of them should be held accountable, if you ask me, in some kind of way, shape, or form, because what they did was dirty our young brother's name up, even in death. And this is nonsense, you know. You don't find them doing this to people in the dominant white society, trying to put them out there when they the victim as being the actual culprit. Them news media outlets ought to be ashamed of themselves who put this out there like that. Because initially I caught it when I first did my first video, but I was a little bit on the fence. I wasn't sure if that was actually what I was seeing. Then when I seen the rest of the family speaking about it, I was like, this is what these no good, uh, rotten sons of bitches was trying to do. They was trying to put it out there and flip the narrative on our brother and make him look like the culprit of this insanity. When he was the victim. And I didn't even see in the news, in the media, the mainstream media, where they was talking about our young brother was even suffering with autism or some kind of mental health issue. Insane. They didn't even put that out there to the public. The family was putting that out, and good part on the part of the family for putting that out there and catching that, where they tried to put our brother out there and spin the narrative and make him look like the culprit. Because you find them trying to do this to black people whenever we the victim, they try to flip the narrative to make us look like the culprit and the one that committed the heinous acts. And this is no good, in my opinion. This kind of stuff needs to be stopped. And them news media outlets that put that out there, they deserve to be held accountable. And I also don't know if any of the family seen, or maybe they did, that Cole Gray's father is now being held accountable. He's being charged with second degree murder and, I believe, endangerment of a child and a whole host of other charges. I don't know off the top of my head, but it was a whole host of other things. And if everything sticks on him, he's looking at a maximum of 180 years in prison behind bars. And when the judge was telling him this on the video footage I watched, he was just shaking his head as if he couldn't believe it. But this kind of stuff needs to be done to the parent, because if you ask me, these white parents that raising these mass shooters, they complicit in it as well. Because what they do is they weaponize their kids at a young age and teach them all this anti-black rhetoric, and weaponize them, brainwash them into doing all this kind of stuff. And then when they get older, or old enough of age to, be able to commit some heinous actions against people, they become weaponized and go act on what their parents have taught them. Because a baby just don't come out of the womb with anti-black views and this type of hatred towards the world in their heart. It's done, if you ask me, it's done by the parents. The parents teach these kids to practice white supremacy and hate of any kind, because a child is innocent until they programmed and conditioned by the parents. And what this would do with them charging um, Colt Gray's father is this will start to um, be rolled out in other places, and this will then deter these um, parents from putting this kind of program and this kind of hatred and radicalism inside of their kids, because that's all it is. That's all it's a case of. The parents is complicit in it as well. They should have been doing this, because this Colt Gray, his father knew he wasn't right, and then he's gonna get him an AK and do this, that, and the other. Because he taught his kid this kind of hatred, if you ask me. And a lot of these people from the dominant white society, they teach their kids this anti-black rhetoric, this anti-black hate. And then when they get older or old enough of age to do some type of harm, then they act on what was taught by the parents. So this could be a good thing, if you ask me, to deter these kinds of things from happening in the future. And the FBI even, you know, knew that this Colt Gray wasn't right, because they had him under a microscope. They was investigating him and looking into him for a while. And if they would have took it a little bit more serious and acted on the intel or whatever that they had, this might have all been prevented. But we can't go back in the past and say shoulda, woulda, coulda. But just thinking about this thing, the FBI probably could have prevented this along with his dad. So both of them two factors are complicit in it, if you ask me. But it's a damn shame, getting back to our brother Mason Sherman Horn, that they tried to take a victim and spin the narrative to make him look like the culprit. You only find them doing this with black people. Damn shame. And those media outlets that brought this out there and put this out there in the eyes of the public, they need to be held accountable. And good part on the part of the family for calling this stuff out. And I just want to say that was nonsense, though. You know what I mean? And they need held accountable. Just my thoughts on the matter. Peace.